Hello and welcome to the monthly Oracle Wisdom for April of 2026. My name is Natalie Sadie and we are going to have a look at what the Oracle cards are telling us our month is going to look like. Now, for the weeklies, I always do a general reading for the collective. With the monthlies, we do it a little bit differently and we do pick a pile. So I have 3 crystals on top of the cards that I've already pulled. I will show them to you. And then you take a moment and see which crystal or crystals you are drawn to. And that is the reading for you, or possibly readings if it is a couple of them. So pile number 1 is going to be our amethyst. Pile number 2 is our Tibetan tektite. And pile number 3 is going to be our labradorite owl. And I hate when she doesn't show her fire on her belly because it's, oh, there it is. It's so special. Okay, so let's just dive right into this. This is my birthday month, so I always love April. Let's take a moment, close your eyes if you need to, take a breath, and just think about if nothing kind of jumped out at you immediately. And think about which crystal you were drawn to. Pile number 1, the amethyst, pile number 2, the Tibetan tektite, and pile number 3, the labradorite owl. And we are going to get started with pile number 1. Okay, so for those of you that picked pile number 1, which is the amethyst, we are going to get started. So the first deck I'm using is a Future Higher Self Oracle, which is a MahrukhX deck. So we'll have a look at all 5 cards. You will be a success, but you will have to go through it to get there. There's lessons to be learned. All the right things will come to you in the most unexpected ways. Don't fear a blank canvas. Use it to turn your life into a masterpiece. Explore the possibilities. Don't lose yourself trying to hold on to someone. Okay, so listen, if you know the astrology, we've got all the planets moving direct. We have just wild astrology at the moment. You know, there's a lot going on. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of us are feeling like we are under pressure and we're sort of caught in a vice, and that there is just that pressure being put on us. So the universe obviously ultimately wants you to know that whatever it is you're aiming for and working towards is actually going to work out. But there are lessons in these trials and tribulations that you're going through at the moment. So if there is a moment of it feeling like things are a bit rough in April, just know that there's a higher purpose. Know that there are lessons that you're learning because they're going to help you later on in life and later on in your journey. And you've got things that are coming to you. They're just not going to come to you in the way that you expect. And maybe you have a very clear vision in your mind of how you think things are going to play out or how they should play out. But you're going to get what you need. It's just going to come maybe in an unconventional way or in a way that you're not necessarily expecting it to. So you have to stay open to what's going on. And this is part of learning to let go. And I had a girlfriend of mine who, when I would start obsessing over something and start spiraling, she wouldn't say anything. She would listen, and then she would just burst into the song, Let It Go. Because I was hanging on too tight. And the moment I let go of everything and all the expectations, everything started to flow. So I think that's something that's going to help you this month, just to remember to let it go and trust the divine timing. Everything happens at the right time. Don't fear a blank canvas. Use it to turn your life into a masterpiece. So I think that whatever it is you're working towards, maybe it feels like you've got a vision, but it's not necessarily formed yet. This is your chance to really create the world and the life that you have been craving and desiring. And instead of being fearful in this moment, it's time to go, right, what is it I want to create? And just go crazy, turning this sort of nothing moment into the most incredible picture for you to step into and really create everything that you've ever dreamed of. And the thing I love about this card is, if you have a look, there's all the colors of the rainbow, and we can't actually see all of the colors in these human bodies, but there's more colors than just what's there. But you can use every color in the box. You can use every color in the rainbow and really create something that this world has never seen before. So the only thing limiting you in this moment in what you're creating are your own self-limiting beliefs. And this is, again, where we go back to let it go. I would sing for you, but you don't want to hear it. Okay, and then we've got explore the possibilities. So this is the whole thing. When you've got a blank canvas, anything is possible. So don't limit yourself to a particular vision that is too small. Go and explore everything and really do your research as to what direction you want to move into and what you are capable of creating. Because I think that where you can go is so much bigger and further than what you've been thinking about in your mind. And then, of course, we've got this final card from the Future Higher Self Oracle. Don't lose yourself trying to hold on to someone. I have been saying this a lot in the readings over the last sort of couple of months, both in the weeklies and the monthlies. First of all, we don't want people in our lives that don't want to be here. It doesn't serve us. If anything, it causes more heartache, it causes more grief, and it doesn't allow space for others to come in. And if you know something's over, but you're hanging on to it because you're just not ready for it to end, this might be the month to actually release all of that. And again, let it go. The moment we release the people that don't serve us anymore, that the relationship isn't serving us, and this may be romantic, this may be a familial relationship, so a family member, it could just be a friendship. And sometimes our friendships change, and it's not that the person is bad or the person has done anything bad, but it's that we are on different paths and we need different things. I have friends in my life that there will always be room at my table for them. Always, always, always. We are on very different paths, but we have a history together that I will always honor. With that being said, we don't have the friendship that we used to have. It's more of a texting relationship, or it's more of a social media relationship. But if they called me and said, hey, I need help, I would be there for them, because our history dictates that I will always, always, always be there for them. So you can release people without cutting the cord to the point that they're no longer in your life. But it may be that to hold them super close is no longer serving you. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the Mystic Fortune Telling Oracle. This is another MahrukhX deck. So heartfelt, newfound love, new lover, honeymoon phase. So maybe by letting go of somebody, this is exactly what you're allowing to come into your life. And look, sometimes friends are the blockers, sometimes family are the blockers, but sometimes we're hanging on to a love or an idea of love that just isn't right and isn't serving us. I've talked very openly about an abusive relationship I was in for just under 2 years, and in that time, I am sure that there were people that passed by that could have come into my life. Clearly, they weren't meant to be a major plot point, because if they were, they would have found me at a later date. But my point is, the entire time I was in that relationship, there was nothing else. And there was a moment I was getting gas one night. The relationship was really new, and I was getting gas, and this beautiful African-American guy, oh, he was so good looking. He and I locked eyes as I was walking into the gas station. And I went and did whatever I needed to do. I came out, and he walked up, he approached the car, and he was like, hey, I really want to take you out, yada, yada, yada. It turns out he was this incredibly successful motivational speaker. I told him I was in a relationship, and he's like, I think you should come meet me. And I never did. I never followed it up. And I think a girlfriend of mine Googled who he was and found him and was like, is this him? And I went, yeah, that is. And I often think about what could have shifted had I chosen a different path. There was another person that I worked with where there was a brief little thing. We always had a connection. And there was a moment where I asked him to accompany me to something, and he was already going to the event, but with different people. So I was like, all right. And I asked the guy who turned out to be the abusive one, I asked him to come with me. And that was the pivotal point in our relationship. So had I let go of him then, I may not have learned all the lessons that I needed to learn in life. But there were other things that could have come in. Ultimately, when I let him go, my life expanded in incredible ways. But it just shows you that this has come up. Don't lose yourself trying to hold on to someone, and then you've got this new love. And when we're trying to hang on to someone, we often will change who we are or go beyond the compromises that we're comfortable with in order to fit with them or fit the mold that they want. But the reality is, often, no matter what we do, it's never going to be right because the relationship isn't right. So just keep that in mind. Comeback, returning, renewal, fight back, and rebound. So I feel like there is this element of sort of reclaiming your power, the phoenix rising from the ashes. Yeah. I feel like this is a new stage for you in a really good way. This is you letting go of everything that's been holding you back in terms of self-limiting beliefs, in terms of the people that have been holding you back. And it is your time now to create the life that you want. With the abusive one, we talked about moving to the US. We were going to move with his company that he was starting. He had some incredible contracts. He ended up screwing that up. He didn't file the appropriate paperwork. He didn't do what he was meant to do. To this day, I'm sure he blames me because I'm apparently the reason he didn't file. I don't know. But he ended up staying in Australia. I don't know what he's doing now. But I let it go. And 10 years later, the opportunity to move to the US presented itself, and here I am. So when you release these things which aren't serving you, and I fought hard to hang on to that relationship. I know it sounds messed up and twisted, but it's such a psychological mind fuck, for lack of a better word or a better phrase to describe what happens, that you think that you're never going to survive the end of these relationships, and life will never be good again. And the reality is life will be so much better. And I realize I'm using a very extreme example to illustrate the point that I'm making, but it doesn't matter how this relationship isn't serving you, whether it be a friendship that's become toxic, a friendship where it's become one-sided and it's just you putting in, whether it's a family relationship where it's just unhealthy. Do you know what I mean? The moment you release all of those, there is a freedom, there is a weight that is lifted off your shoulder, and you are then able to explore this world in a way that you hadn't been able to previously. And then we have patience, slow down, impatience, slow progress. So don't expect all of this to come to fruition in one moment. I think that this April, while all the planets are moving direct, this is a moment to start the process, to initiate everything, to get it going, to get the vision, to take action in terms of freeing yourself and allowing that phoenix to rise. But just don't expect it all to happen instantaneously. It is a process. When I got out of that abusive relationship, I had to live with that man for 12 months after we broke up. And the mental torment continued in that time. But I was slowly rebuilding my life. I was rebuilding friendships or starting new friendships because he had destroyed everything in my life in terms of relationships. I allowed him to happen. I take ownership of my part in all of this. I'm just trying to shorthand it. But it was a process. And 12 months afterwards, I was able to get out of that house. A little bit after, I was able to get the money that was owed to me, and I was able to move on. But that entire year, there was this building process, but I knew where I was going. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was fighting for. And so this is your month to start laying that groundwork, to start creating the vision of the life that you want, to start actioning the things. And you know what? When you're looking at a long-term goal, you're looking at it and it's this, like, from A to Z. But there's stepping stones. There's B, C, D, and there might even be A point B before you get to B, like those stepping stones. So it doesn't matter how small they are. Just figure out the vision. And if you take the first tiniest step, that is progress. And that's all you need to do this month. And then the final deck I'm pulling from is the Emergence deck, which is, I think, Joanna Reed. I got this deck when I was on the East Coast, and I love it. And the card that comes up is Wolf, the teacher. So for me, this card is, there's two levels to it. There is one that you may need to find someone who is a teacher for you this month, someone that can help guide you, be a bit of a mentor, someone that you can rely on to just help you navigate what's going on. And it may not be the relationship breakdown or sort of moving on from whatever relationship it is that you need a little space from. It may be just in regard to, how do I plan this next phase? So if there's that, great. The other thing is, you may embody the wolf, and you may be the one that is showing the other people in your life that what is possible when you don't allow the self-limiting beliefs to actually limit you. What happens when you go, fuck that? This is what I'm capable of. This is what I was put on this earth to do. And God damn it, I'm going to do it. I've learned my lessons. I know it's going to be a journey, but let's go. Because what most people don't talk about is what they're afraid of and what they're scared to do and the life that they're afraid to live. And the fact that they're afraid to take action. I've had people for years message me and go, how did you create this life that you have? And when I tell them, and there's a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and they go, no, I don't want any of that. But how do I get that without doing all those things? You can't. You just can't. You have to be brave. You have to ignore fear. You have to take the leap and trust the universe. You have to let go of things that you're obsessively hanging on to in terms of the idea of it. And you have to trust the universe. You have to take the detours that the universe offers. You have to take the lessons and understand that the universe isn't saying no, it's saying not this way. So embody the wolf spirit, reach out to someone who can be the leader for you and teach you how to fully step into that power. I think, honestly, I know it probably sounds a little bleak as I'm saying this to you, but I think this is a really good month, because what most people don't realize is finding that freedom and stepping into it is the most incredible thing you can do for yourself, and the most incredible gift. And when you first find the vision or find the bravery to tap into the desire of what life it is you want to create, and you start putting the pieces together and go, hang on, this could be a real thing. It is so freaking exciting. It's a whole new adventure, and it makes every day exciting. It makes every day fun to wake up. So I think this is an exciting month. Like I said, it may be a bit of a roller coaster ride as the universe puts you through your paces, but enjoy the ride. Let go, throw your hands up in the air, scream when you need to, cry when you need to, and be really proud of all the progress that you're making, because I know this is just the beginning of something that is so freaking awesome. And now we're moving on to pile number 2, which is the Tibetan Tektite. Okay, so we're starting with the Future Higher Self Oracle. We are just going to pull all of these and have a look at them, and then we'll go from there. You will be surrounded by people with different agendas. It may scare you away, but fight it. You got this. Balance all balance all dimensions of your life. Challenge yourself to be stronger than your challenges. Rejection is for your protection. Don't compare your life to others. Your journey is your own. Okay, so just off the bat, I'm going to say that this is only the second reading for the month, but I'm going to say there is a theme of challenge running through all of these readings, and I think that's a theme that's running through April. And as I said in the other reading, we have all the planets moving direct in astrology, so it's a great time to get things done, but we have so much happening in Aries. And it is Aries season. It is my birthday on the 3rd, because you all needed to know that. And so I love the fire, but with so much going on, so much in Aries, and I mean, it creates conflict. Mars, our ruling planet, is a planet of war. You know, there's all of this stuff going on. So it's a great time to get things done. But I think we're all being challenged, and I think it's something that we shouldn't be fearful of. So first of all, being surrounded by people with different agendas. It may scare you away, but fight it. You got this. So it may be a matter of hearing somebody if they're challenging your beliefs, listening to different opinions. Maybe it's about work and they're trying to give you some advice and you're like, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. Maybe you do. Great, fantastic. But sometimes people can come in and have really great ideas that can be super helpful. So just what I'll say is be open-minded. Be open-minded to have the conversations that maybe you don't want to have because they don't align with your thought process. But you never know what you might learn. You never know what you might discover, and you never know who might actually be helpful in the information that they're giving you. Balance all dimensions of your life. So this is a moment to look at yourself, and when everything is running at full steam ahead, which is what happens when all of the planets are direct, we can very easily go off kilter and be so go, go, go that we're not taking care of ourselves physically and mentally. So this is a month for you to assess what is going on for you, what areas you maybe need to look at and just kind of alter a little bit. Just make little adjustments so that you are in balance, because that will make any challenges that you're facing a little bit easier to deal with. It will keep your health in a place where you're good. And so it's easier to just navigate everything that's coming up. So then we've got challenge yourself to be stronger than your challenges. Okay, so there are going to be things that come up for you that are challenging. And like I said, this is a theme for everybody. It doesn't matter what the reading is, we're getting that there's challenges. So this is a time to remember that you need to be strong enough to go, okay, I see what's happening here, and be able to keep moving. when we are faced with challenges, it's very easy to then sort of throw our hands in the air and say, I quit. I don't want to do this. This is where we need to look at it and go, okay, I need to redirect, or this is strengthening me. But we have to remember we've survived every challenge prior to this, and we'll survive this one as well. And the power in so much is how we handle ourselves when we're being challenged. It's our reaction to the things around us. It's even our reaction to the people around us. So I've always had a difficult relationship with my family, my mother, who's no longer on this earth, and I have 3 sisters. I speak to one of them. And when I was younger, I would vehemently defend myself. And the reality is I was playing right into their hands. And then there was a moment where I realized, okay, I need to stop doing this because it's not serving a purpose. It doesn't matter that I'm right. I am behaving exactly the way they want me to behave. So I have to alter this. And so then I started changing how I responded. And I hoped in part that would change how they were behaving towards me. It didn't. You know, there are the issues that they have that I don't even know what they are, and that's fine. They're entitled to have them. But so as a result, I then created very clear boundaries. I've kind of removed myself from a couple of those relationships, and that was the best thing that I could ever do. But what changed was me. They haven't changed. They're still living their lives and happy, healthy, great, Godspeed. Go have a wonderful life. I choose not to be in that position anymore. So this is the whole thing. When you are being faced with these challenges, you are the one that can control how you respond to those challenges. And one of those challenges this month may be some sort of rejection. And this says rejection is for your protection. I always say rejection is the universe's protection. There are times where we are told no. There are times where something that we desperately wanted to work just doesn't. And we don't understand, and we're devastated because we had a vision for how everything was going to play out and it's not working. The reality is the universe is protecting you from something. Sometimes you get those answers as to why, and other times you don't. And we just have to accept it, and we have to trust. Frustrating as it is, that's a reality. But every time I've ended up finding out why something didn't work, I've always sat back and gone, I get it. I get it. This wasn't meant to be for me. So keep that in mind. And then the final one from the Future Higher Self Oracle is don't compare your life to others. Your journey is your own. So if you're trying to build a business and you're looking at where somebody else is and you're not in that place, okay, well, good for them. Maybe they're just better at that. Maybe they found their niche. Maybe your business is completely different and there needs to be a different marketing strategy because what they've done works for them, it doesn't work for you. Maybe it's that you need to work a little harder. Maybe it's that you're building a foundation that is so much sturdier than what they're building. You don't know. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Focus on what you can do to improve your situation. And if you're comparing relationships, you never know what goes on behind closed doors. That is between those two people. And even if somebody's talking to you about it, you will still never know everything. So just focus on your journey. Don't worry about anybody else. And the moment you stop worrying about everybody else, it all fades away and you can put all of your energy into your own success, your own growth. So now we move on to the Mystic Fortune Telling Oracle, which is another Mahrukh deck. I had pulled 3 for everyone, but there's 4 cards here. So apparently there's something here you need to know. So the first card is Temptation, Persuasion, Hidden Motive, Trap, Bribery. So I don't know if this is something that is being offered to you, if there's some sort of temptation to sway you in one direction or the other, or maybe it's you trying to sway somebody else, but I don't think that's the best avenue. And if it's somebody offering you something, if it's something that seems too good to be true, it probably is. I mean, working in the entertainment industry, I've had so many incredible offers put in front of me. And every time I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. How did this even happen? And then sure enough, those things that seemed so perfect would always fall away. The other jobs would always, pardon me, come through. So just be aware of what's being presented. And like I said, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Promise or commitment, lasting agreement or marriage. So there is the possibility of some sort of proposal or maybe marriage, if that is I'm so sorry, if that is sort of where your relationship is heading. But this could be an agreement or a commitment in terms of work, or maybe just a commitment or a promise or like I keep hearing, do you want to be my girlfriend? Like it could be just that commitment of committing to someone and being in a relationship with them. It could be a business agreement as well. But whatever this agreement is, it's something long term. And it could be, I was talking before about challenges with my sisters. It could be that a conversation is had. So if it is in regard to a relationship, just a way to move forward, a way to navigate the world in a new way that works for sort of both parties. And I feel like it's a good agreement, a good commitment that is coming up. Then we have double-edged contradiction, duality in a conflict. So I think that there's a lot going on internally for you this month. I feel like because the inner conflict is what got me. And with the sword, it makes me think of the tarot cards when is it the Four of Swords? Where I can't remember which card it is, where he's laying on the table and he's got the sword below him and what have you. I feel like there's something that's keeping you up. There's something that you're kind of churning over in your mind. And this is where you need to find peace. And this is where you've got to balance the dimensions of your life. This is where you need to find balance, because you need to find a way to calm your mind. So maybe there's, I hadn't even looked at the last card. I was going to say maybe there's meditation or some work you need to do, but the last card that jumped out. So like I said, I thought I'd pulled 3. There's 4 here. The final card is mirror, shadow work, introspection, self-discovery. So I think this month, okay, here's my take. I think that there are challenges this week that appear in the physical world in terms of the people that you're surrounded with, having differing views or offering maybe opinions or suggestions that are not so welcome. I maintain you need to stay open to them. I think that there are challenges that are coming up, but you're in control of how you respond to those challenges. And you need to remember that any rejection that that you sort of have to deal with this month, it is for your highest good. But there is an element of what's going on internally for you. And I do think that you need to find balance, and that will help whatever is kind of keeping you awake. And tormenting is the word that I get, like when you're spiraling and your mind is just going a million miles an hour, when you have that inner conflict. I think that balancing your life and finding ways to calm your mind, meditation before bed, or maybe it's a girlfriend of mine used to play solitaire on the computer, and I talked to her about meditation. She's like, no, solitaire is my meditation. It completely blanks my mind. I'm like, oh, okay. And at the time I didn't understand it. I'm like, no, you really should meditate. You should do this. Do you know what? For me, I shower every night before bed, every single night. I don't drink anymore. I haven't had a drink in over a year. But even when I was younger, if I would go to a club and come home and I was drunk, I would still have a shower. before I went to bed. And there is a thing for me that it quiets my mind. It switches everything off. It's often where I get some of my best insights. Friends always get messages. I was just in the shower and I thought of you, which sounds super creepy, but if you know me, it's not at all. So find whatever it is that is going to help give you that peace so that you are able to then get that balance, quiet that mind, and get to where you need to. The other thing is you've got to focus on your own journey. This isn't about anybody else. Shadow work is going to be so vitally important for you. There is stuff that's coming up and stuff that you need to work through, which will ultimately make your life better and richer, but you have to do the work to get to the other side. And again, I think the shadow work will help with whatever is keeping your mind spiraling. You've got to watch out for offers that are too good to be true. But I think that there is this really beautiful moment of some long-term commitment, like I said, whether it be business, whether it be your relationships that are being formalized in some way, whether it just be you agree for it to be monogamous and just the two of you, whether it be an actual marriage proposal or a marriage itself. So I think that ultimately it's a good month, but it is one which is a little more internal while you've still got all of this Mars energy and Aries energy floating about. So the final card I'm pulling is from the Emergence deck, which is Joanna Reed, and it's Rabbit. Fertility and creativity. So this is a month where you can start getting creative. And again, I feel like these ideas or different agendas might be something really helpful, and sort of just hearing them out might spur the creativity in your mind. And I think that's a really good thing. I also think finding the balance in your life will help you get creative. And sometimes these challenges and roadblocks are put in front of us in order for us to become more creative. What is the workaround that I need to do to get to the destination that I'm trying to get to? So embrace a little bunny rabbit. I think that this is going to be a good month for our growth and for ultimately where we're headed, even if there are some challenges along the way. And now we are moving on to pile number 3. So if you picked the Labradorite owl, oh, there she is with all her fire. Oh, she was. There we go. So if you picked my beautiful little owl, this reading is for you. So we're starting with the Future Higher Self Oracle, which is a MahrukhX deck. We're going to have a look at all 5 cards and then we'll go from there. Do not give up because something did not work out right away. Embrace what you've learned and cherish your experiences because they are divinely fated. Own your time and give it meaning. Don't let it pass you by. You will break free from all that no longer serves you. And then don't take action when there's a feeling of resistance. Okay, so I started pile number 2 saying this, and I'm going to start it here. All of these readings are very different in terms of how the entire month is going to look, but there is a theme this month, which seems to be challenges and blocks. And we're in a time astrologically, and I'm just keeping it super simple, where every planet is moving direct. We are in Aries season, which is ruled by Mars, which is fire and war and all of that great stuff. But also we have so many planets in Aries. So there is this sort of, I guess, extra tension that we're feeling. And so I think that while it's great that all the planets are moving direct, there are challenges and we shouldn't be ignoring that fact. So first up, do not give up because something did not work out right away. That's a roadblock. That's the universe going, okay, not this way. We've got to keep going. But I know that at times we encounter those roadblocks and we're like, well, screw it. It didn't work. I quit. If it's something that you know your soul needs to do, if it's something, a direction that you know you have to move in, you have to keep going. you can feel sorry for yourself for a day or two and take a moment to sort of collect yourself and have a real think about how it is you're meant to proceed from there. But you can't give up. You can't quit. It's just, you have to finish what you started. You have to keep moving, and you have to take it as a redirection. Okay, so I'm going to sort of jump ahead here, because you will break free from all that no longer serves you and embrace what you've learned, cherish your experiences because they are divinely fated. To me, these two go together. And it's because when you're breaking free of things that no longer serve you, sometimes that's an experience, a work thing, a particular phase in life. And we can sometimes be a little bit bitter when we move away from things. And the reality is, the beautiful memories, and if it's a person, the beautiful memories we created with that person are not taken away because it ended. And even if things ended badly, good people do shitty things sometimes. Good people make bad decisions. It doesn't make them evil. It doesn't negate everything that you had together. So to me, the first thing that I thought when this card came out, embrace what you've learned and cherish your experiences because they are divinely fated. Those experiences have made you who you are. If we're talking about a person that we're having to break free from because they no longer serve us, we loved them in the time that we were with them, in whichever way that is, platonic, romantic love, familial love, whatever it is. If it's a job, maybe it's not love, but you learned so much at that job. But if it is a person, those times that you cherish together, that you laugh together, that you curled up on the couch together under a blanket, they all mean something. Just because these things move on and time sort of does this for us, it pushes us along, and sometimes people just aren't meant to be on that journey with us. People are in our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So there are people that come in for really brief periods. They teach us something and then they disappear. There are other people that come in and we think they're going to be there forever, and they're there for a few years. They're there for a season and then they move on. It doesn't mean that they are bad people. It just means that was the part they were meant to play in our story, and that was a part we were meant to play in theirs. And that's all there is. But those memories and everything we went through, they've created the person that we are today. So I feel like I've repeated that, but I think it's so important to remember, because when we move away, especially from people, we can get really sour about what any of it meant. It meant nothing. And we've all been there. We can all be a little dramatic, but just know that we needed that. That was part of our story. That was part of our life's lessons, and it's time to move on. If you feel that calling and you know in your waters that something isn't serving you, it's time to actually cut that cord and break free. Own your time and give it meaning. Don't let it pass you by. So if you're finding that when challenges are coming up, or when you're sort of cutting these cords, you're wanting to curl up in a ball and just be, do it for a day or two. Just don't allow yourself to sit there and wallow. We get this life and we should take advantage of it in every possible way. So just make sure you're honoring the time that you have. Like I said, if you need time to just feel your feelings and sort of sit in it for a minute, great, go ahead, do it. Just don't get stuck there. And then we've got, don't take action where there's a feeling of resistance. So if you are trying to push, especially if something hasn't worked and you're like, no, I'm going through, if there's resistance there, just stop and take a break, reassess, have a look at if there is a different way that you can move forward. And maybe it's slightly different. Maybe you have to change tactics. Just don't try and bulldoze your way into something that isn't going to serve you. because the universe is doing this for a reason. Okay, so now we have the Mystic Fortune Telling Oracle. This is another Mahrukh deck. So we've got sunshine, great joy, success, fun, fame, and achievement. So this is what we're moving towards. Great joy, happiness. So breaking free from whatever it is that isn't serving us, whether it be changing jobs, moving homes, breaking free from relationships that don't serve us. That creates space in our lives for new opportunities, new experiences to come in that will bring in joy. Owning your time and going, okay, I want to do something meaningful with this, and I need to find a way forward, and I need to do this and that. That will bring you joy versus sitting on the couch and being stuck in your feelings. And not quitting, of course, is going to bring you joy, because ultimately you're going to get to where you need to. I mean, it says it right there. Success. You're going to have success. You need to keep going. And also, as I said at the beginning, challenge is a theme that has run through all of these readings. Know that you're not alone. Everybody is being tested right now. The astrology for 2026 is a lot. We are navigating this. We are tired. We've been going through it astrologically since 2020. We've got all the big outer planets moving, changing homes, and it's fundamentally changing our world. But you have to keep going, because this too shall pass. Oh, all my favorite sayings are coming out today. Then we have sudden, unexpected, surprise, swiftness, and powerful. Things can shift in a moment. Lightning can strike unexpectedly. So just know what a powerful time this is. It's an incredible time of transformation. Thunderstorms, to me, always electrify the air in a really special way. And the significance of this sudden, unexpected, and the imagery that's here is that you may not even know this is coming, and then all of a sudden, like a bolt of lightning, everything shifts. So just be ready for this. And then we have cleansing, energy clearing, health, healer, and wellness. So there needs to be a focus on healing for you, which will help you move forward in a really productive way. So sometimes it is the cutting of the cord and moving into a new space that is going to start that healing and clearing the energy. Maybe there's somebody you need to go see, whether it be a healer or, go to do a meditation. And there are all these incredible people that do online meditations that you can join. I know when I've done them, I just put my iPad on, turn the camera off, and lay down on my couch and do these great meditations with these different groups of people. And the energy is really special. So there are a whole lot of things you can do, whatever works for you. I've just thrown a few ideas out. But I think this is a month to sort of focus on you and what you need in order to move forward. And then we're finishing with the Emergence deck, which I bought on the East Coast a few months ago. And the final card is Peacock, self-expression and prosperity. This is all about stepping into what works for you, expressing yourself, being yourself. The peacock, when he's trying to woo someone, not only does he get his tail out, he's there and he's shimmying around, and I freaking love it. Every time I see a peacock shimmying about, I'm like, I freaking love you. And it doesn't matter if it's at a peahen that he's trying to pick up or he's doing it for a crowd. He's just being him, and he's showing all of his colors, and he's showing how amazing he is, and he's shimmying around and just being like, that's right, look at me. It's your time to embrace the peacock. It's your time to embrace exactly who you are and own it. And you know what? When the peacock does it, there are peahens that are like, I don't care. There are other people that say, oh, it's so pretty, and then walk away, and they don't care about the shimmying. And then there's me who's like, oh my God, shimmy king, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. The right people are going to love you're in a peacock. They are going to love exactly who you are for exactly the right reasons. So you have to keep going. Love the journey that you've been on while being prepared to free yourself from the things that are holding you back and move forward. Don't push things that, when there's resistance, it's just those things aren't for you. And know that there is success, there is great joy, and there needs to be an element of healing. And you're in charge of all of that. I think this is a good month. Like I said, we're all being tested. We're all being challenged in different ways. But this is a really good month for you. So I hope that April is fantastic. I hope that you free yourself easily and peacefully from whatever it is that isn't serving you, and you're able to become the peacock that you are, super easily. But if it's a bit more of a challenge and it takes a little longer, that's fine. Just keep going. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this monthly reading. I hope that your reading resonated for you. As I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not every reading is for every person. And, happy Aries season, happy April. And don't forget to join me for the weekly Oracle Wisdom every Monday.